lot of these rocks that are down the beach, they're from hundreds, thousands of miles north, brought down by the glaciers, and here they sit.
For people who are artistic and they follow whatever their passion be, they can't just sit down and read a textbook.
So as that water makes its way up through the crack in the rock,
we need to integrate a little bit of our art in with our learning.
And that is a female wood duck.
So the hybrid approach that we took to this class, where there was a mix of filmmaking and there was a mix of environmental science, I think was a great way for someone like me to learn.
and this whole area, what is now like downtown Seattle, used to just be mud flats. Got a dragonfly right here.
My name is Christian Musselman. I'm a student at Seattle Film Institute, and I am in the filmmaking concentration. The first year experience program at Seattle Film Institute is a lot of the core classes that most schools would do. You know, there's science, there's math, social studies, whatever it be. But because this is an art school, they are able to revolve it around filmmaking. A class that we took last summer was called Environmental Science, where our science and math professor, Houston Wade, guided us on a number of field trips focused on geology.
So this is the clay that basically the Puget Sound is built upon. All the brick buildings in downtown Seattle is this clay that's been cut into bricks and baked in an oven.
And we had another instructor, Vaughn Raymond, who's a documentary filmmaker.
With a lightweight tripod, we're challenged, and so you have to...
And he taught us a lot of the logistics behind filming a documentary, because we were also filming Houston in a documentary style. The first field trip we went on was at Discovery Park in Seattle.
And then we'll work our way on South Beach and see the sheer cliffs, talk about how the soil got laid down there.
It's a beautiful place. You go through some woodsy trails, and then you can see Mount Rainier on one side. You can see the Olympics on the other side.
We've got ourselves this block that slid down a little bit, and this tree right here is clinging on for dear life. The gravity really wants to take it down the hill, so it's desperately trying to bend its trunk and stay upright to maintain its grasp on the hill. And the roots...
A large topic of discussion was erosion and landslides, and so I thought it was interesting how shortly after this talk we turned a corner and one of the main trails we were supposed to go down was closed because there was a landslide from rainstorms or what have you.
I wonder if they had like a washout or something.
So then you can hike down to the beach, which has a beautiful scenic view. And Houston was picking up the rocks and telling us about them and how they're formed.
And inside those pockets, these little guys would form. And that's where the agates come from.
There was a lot to learn. The second field trip was to the Seattle Arboretum, which is a big nature reserve. There's a lot of wildlife and habitats out there.
See if we can get some frogs and salamanders. And
Houston also brought along a friend who is a naturalist, and we filmed a lot of them just talking back and forth about all of these different aspects of the environmental landscape there.
Mothhead hydrangea.
As soon as you get into it, you start seeing so much diversity in the plant life there.
It looks like a hops, oh yeah, I think this was one of the tallest sacks, gigantic.
And you go even further and you start to see more animals.
There's a millipede in more natural habitat.
there you go.
Millipeding. Oh, there's a turtle.
Where?
On a log. Where else?
You can sit there and wait and try and find some turtles that like to pop out of the water, sit on the logs. And it's really a nice place to slowly take your time walking through. It's a peaceful place.
Seattle was originally built out of wood because there are trees everywhere. But on June 6th, 1889, Seattle burned down. So brick became the construction of choice because it's harder to burn brick down than it is wood.
Our third field trip that we took was through downtown Seattle.
To make the brick, And they started carving out all that Lawton clay, which is the clay layer that was deposited by the glaciers. This rock here, this is Chuckanut sandstone. So this is ancient sand dunes that got packed on and like pressured and covered a bunch of other rock and baked into a new rock. And this is from up in Bellingham.
Houston would stop and point out, this is what this material is. Here's where it comes from. And he really knew like the entire foundational history of Seattle.
So this is granite that got cooked again, a lot of pressure and torsion on it, and it got like bent and squished, so all those crystals end up sort of aligning, making little swirly things.
We really took our time walking through this to really learn that these buildings have a rich history. They're essentially made out of the earth, rocks and sand and mud.
These bricks, what are these?
Terracotta.
They're white terracotta, yeah.
Terracotta.
Yeah.
And when we learn about how truly integrated the environment and the earth is in building these huge buildings, it makes you kind of feel a little bit more connected to the environment. Some things that I learned from the class, even in a big city, there are a lot of places to go to really learn and connect with the environment. And so I really enjoyed this approach to environmental science at a film school. Making my own mini documentary on this and sharing it with other people and allowing other people to learn what I've learned through something that I created. That's a feeling that's very difficult to describe, but it's a really good feeling.